Hi, this is Laura McDonough, Communications Director at AARP Vermont. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We're having an important conversation about mature workers and how they can use local resources to learn new skills, re-enter the workforce, or find jobs consistent with their interests and abilities. We'll discuss career tips, job search tools, and professional resources that every experienced worker can use to sharpen their skills or get hired. AARP knows that people are living and working longer, and experienced workers bring expertise, maturity, and perspective. Experienced workers should have a level playing field in their ability to compete for, obtain, and retain jobs, so we've invited Associates for Training and Development, or A4TD, to join us on our call today. I'm really happy to welcome our special guests, Rick Bugbee, the Vice President of Programs at A4TD, and Patti Gannon, the Director of Programs at A4TD. Now, this is an interactive event, and after some brief opening statements from our special guests, we'll be happy to take all of your questions live on this call. This is your chance to ask questions about current or prospective jobs or new skill sets you'd like to learn more about. If you want to ask a question at any time during the call, just press *3 on your telephone keypad to be connected with an AARP staff member who will note your name and question and place you in the queue. Now, the sooner you press *3, the sooner you'll be online with our guests. For those of you joining us on Facebook, please post your question right in the comments and we'll read it aloud for you. As you're getting your questions ready, I'll turn it over to Rick and Patti to provide some opening remarks and information about A4TD.
Thank you,
Rick
Laura.
And Patti?
Thank you, Laura. Hi, everyone. My name is Rick Bugbee. I'm the VP of Programs with Associates for Training and Development. And also joining us is Patti Gannon. She's our Vermont Director of Programs, also with Associates for Training and Development. And we're very happy to be with you today. Let me just explain to you a little bit about who A4TD is. We're a private nonprofit 501c3 organization that's been in business since 1983. What we do is we operate workforce development projects exclusively for experienced workers. Our goal is to help Vermonters to either remain in the workforce, to re-enter the workforce by providing them training opportunities so they can learn new skills, improve their skills, and really have what employers are looking for. We do that in a lot of different ways. The first way we do that is we have a program called the Senior Community Service Employment Program. It is the oldest jobs training program in the country specifically for mature workers. It's a program designed to help mature workers at least 55 years or older. They must be low income and they must be unemployed, and helping them to learn new skills so they can re-enter the workforce through paid internships. So what we do is we partner with other organizations throughout the state, and those organizations host mature Vermonters so they can, within a workplace setting, so they can actually learn new skills and hopefully be prepared to re-enter the workforce. We're a statewide organization. We have 7 offices throughout the state. They include, if I just go from north to south, they include St. Albans, Burlington, over the Northeast Kingdom to St. Johnsbury, back into central Vermont, into Montpelier, and then we have 3 offices in southern Vermont in Rutland, Bennington, and Brattleboro. So we're really excited to join you all today. I think we're going to have some wonderful tips for you. We'd also love to share more about our work and how we potentially could help you if you're trying to re-enter the workforce. And I always would invite you to visit our website at A4TD.org. Thanks, Laura.
Thanks so much, Rick. That was really helpful information. So for folks of you who've just joined our call, this is your chance to ask questions about re-entering the workforce, changing jobs, or developing new skills to enhance your current position. This is an interactive call, so if you'd like to ask a question at any time during the call, just press *3 on your telephone keypad to be connected with an AARP staff member who will note your name and question and place you in the queue. The sooner you press *3, the sooner you can ask your question. Now, we have a few people in the queue here, but we do have a couple minutes while our listeners are queuing up to ask their questions. So I just wanted to kick things off with a couple of questions for you, Rick and Patti. What skills are most in demand in today's job market that you're seeing, and how can someone determine if their skills align with those needs?
Yeah, thanks, Laura. Great question. So we talk with employers throughout Vermont all the time, and we ask them that question. We say, we hear that you have a lot of open positions. What are you really looking for? And a couple big trends come to mind. The first one is customer service skills. Most jobs are client-facing at some level, so they're looking for people that are really respectful and know how to act appropriate in a business setting with individuals. That's really important to employers. Something else that's really important to employers is they want their workers to have computer skills, really good computer skills. And as we know, computers and the skills necessary change every day. It's always advancing. So there's a lot of opportunities in Vermont, and maybe we can talk about them later today, about how we can help people improve their computer skills, because employers are saying that a lot of the applicants that are coming to them don't have the necessary digital literacy skills to be qualified for the jobs that they're offering. So there's a couple, Laura, to start with, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's really helpful to have. And are there any certifications or training programs you recommend to make someone more competitive in the workforce that your organization offers?
Yeah, there's all kinds of different things, but I think what first everyone needs to do is to figure out what they want to do. What sort of jobs are they interested in? Are they interested in the same type of jobs that they've been employed with throughout their life, or are they trying to reinvent themselves, and do they want to try something new? That's where A4T, that's where we can come in and help you with that. And what we do is we engage with employers all the time. The Vermont Department of Labor has a lot of data, and we take a look at where are the most jobs. And what we're finding is, a lot of jobs in the finance, the green sector, but just some entry-level jobs as well, if that's what you're looking for, in retail, customer service. Healthcare is huge. If you're interested in becoming like a personal care aide or a licensed nursing assistant, there's all kinds of jobs. And so there's credentials for each one of those jobs. So, for example, if you want to be in the healthcare industry, you can partner with one of your local technical education centers, and you can get an LNA certification or a PCA certification. If you are interested in entering the food industry, we could connect you with a ServSafe representative. ServSafe is the nationally industry credential for the food industry, and they have different levels of credentials. So there's really a lot out there, but we have to first, every individual has to decide what they want to do, and then we can help you to assess what's the best career pathway for you to get that job that you're interested in.
Thanks, Rick. All right, we've got a few callers in the queue, and we've also gotten a few email questions, so I'll be alternating between the two. But first, we're going to go to Morgan in Castleton. Morgan, can you ask your question?
Yes, I was just, it's a hard thing because I've just been out of work for a few days, and I've been doing food service for a long time, number of years. Don't particularly like it that well, but I've been doing it so long, I just felt, anyways, I'm kind of ready for a change, and I do have some writing skills. I have a degree a bachelor's degree in English, and I just want to know if there's any training program I can get for, like, to be an advertising copywriter or some sort of business writing or related office work.
Right. Morgan, nice to hear from you. The first thing I would give you for advice, and that I would give anyone, is please visit your local Vermont Department of Labor office. They are a wonderful resource for anyone who's trying to reenter the workforce. They can offer training as well. They also have a lot of connections like us with employers. So I just wanted to throw that out there for everyone, that make sure you're checking your Vermont Department of Labor office and visiting their resource center, because I think they would have a lot of valuable information. And they are our number one partner. We chat with them every day. So for you, Morgan, I think because you're in the Castleton area, that would be in Rutland, right, for you. Second of all, I think, Morgan, if you're interested in reinventing yourself and you want to get more into that copywriting office, using your writing skills, I think one of the things, I'm not aware if there's any industry credentials per se with that, but what you would want to do is probably target particular employers in Southern Vermont where you're at that you feel may have job openings that may meet the skills or the interest that you're looking to get to. And then what we want to do is after we target some employers, then we want to learn more about them. Are they offering full-time or part-time work? And you also have to assess for yourself what you're looking for besides just a job, full-time, part-time, days, nights, weekends, benefits, without benefits. So that's something that everyone's going to want to ascertain for themselves as well. And then do a little research and target who are employers in your particular area that may have jobs that match the interest that you're interested in. And then what I would suggest you do is reach out to them. Even if they don't have jobs opening, everyone's going to have an HR department. Everyone's looking for talented, skilled people. And you all are the best advocates for yourself. So if there's something else I would hope that you would all leave with today, is be advocates for yourself. As experienced workers, you have a lot to offer. You have a lot of transferable skills. And no one knows that better than you. So you want to be your number one advocate for yourself. And as we tell our mature workers, you want to convince an employer that they can't live without you. So just a couple thoughts, Morgan. I hope I answered your question.
Thanks, Rick. And I also just want to say to Morgan that AARP Vermont is always looking for communication volunteers as well. I know it's not work, but it is a volunteer position, which is sometimes just as fulfilling, if not more. So if you are interested in volunteering with AARP Vermont, we can help get you writing blog posts for us or anything like that. And that goes for everyone on the call here today. To learn more about that, you can visit volunteers.aarp.org. And for those of you who've just joined us, just a reminder, if you'd like to ask a question of Rick and Patti at Associates in Training for Development, please press *3 on your telephone keypad, *3, and an AARP staff member will take your question and put you in the queue. Now that we've taken a live call, I'm going to go to one from email. We've got one from Sandra in Newport. She says, I'm retired and have 3 grandchildren that live nearby. I'd like to get a job that has some flexibility so I can help out with my grandkids when they need me. Are there certain types of jobs that are common for older folks like me in similar situations? And how do I communicate my need for flexibility to a potential employer without jeopardizing my candidacy?
Yeah, that's a
big
great
one,
That's a great question. I think employers are learning more than ever that there has to be flexibility, and that's how they're going to attract talented people. So I think the first thing you want to do is, it sounds like you're looking for part-time work with some flexibility to take care of the grandchildren, and you're also looking to earn some money on the side. And also, another wonderful thing about work, it's being engaged, right, and participating and giving back to your communities. Those are all positives with being in the workforce at some level. I know Newport very well, and I would say that there are, I think, again, you have to figure out what you want to do. I think office jobs, customer service, those sectors are always going to be looking for part-time help. I think if you're looking for food or even light manufacturing, I know that may or may not be an option for some people. Those are usually have a lot of flexibility in work as well. So again, I would invite you to, and we'd love to chat with you more, and we can give you some contact information for anyone who's interested about who you can connect with, particularly with that A4TD, because I think what we would do is we would first learn about what have your experience been, and where do you want to go, and what training do you need to get there. and what supportive services can we offer? Because a huge part of being in the workforce or reentering the workforce is making sure that you have all the basic needs that you need. So that's something we can also help with as well. So at some time, Laura, I'd love to share with everyone some of our staff's contact that are more in the local area, and I think we could be a lot of help to you, ma'am, living in Newport.
Yeah, Rick, and if you'd like to do that right now, I think this is a good time for it. Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah, so if you can just think about Vermont and think of Montpelier being sort of we know it's sort of the center of the state. If you are north of Montpelier, you're going to call a gentleman by the name of Rick. It's a different Rick than me, and he can be reached at 802-370-6161. Okay, and he would be your first point of contact and could help you answer any questions you have and potentially help you to apply to our program if that's something you're interested in. If you live in the southern part of the state from Montpelier down, the person that you want to connect with is Danielle Clark, and her number is 802-752-7073. And I can give those out later as well. But those are two people, and we can also give Patti and I can give our contact information at some point too. We'd love to hear from you because one of the things we'll want to do so we can best help you is we want to learn more about you because we know what employers are looking for. And so once we know more about you, we can try to help you get to your end game, whatever that may be.
Thanks, Rick. And to echo Rick's statement, we do want to hear from you. Press *3 on your telephone keypad if you'd like to ask Rick a question or if you want to share an experience that you had in the workplace or any questions that are coming up today. We're going to have another email question here from Bill in St. Johnsbury. Bill says, I've been working for the same company for a long time, and they've started to change the way we do things. Everything is done electronically now, for instance, and I'm having a hard time keeping up with these changes. I'm not ready to retire, but feel like it's a steep learning curve to learn all these new systems. Is there anything I can do?
Yeah, Bill, great question. I think we as workers are in a really good position because employers are telling us that they can't find enough qualified, skilled people to fill their positions. So that really gives workers a little bit of a leverage. Again, Bill, what I would suggest you do is just start doing, in St. Johnsbury. You could actually start at the Welcome Center in St. Johnsbury or the Chamber of Commerce that is right there in the same building in downtown St. Johnsbury. And they may be able to give you some opportunity or some ideas about who in St. Johnsbury are employers that are looking for workers that match your interest. And I would just make that a plug as well as plugging the Vermont Department of Labor earlier. Your local chambers of commerce as well engage. Their members are employers. So again, if you're looking for employer contacts, besides A14 and Vermont Department of Labor, I would suggest you go to your local chamber of commerce because they have a huge member directory, that they can share some contact information with you. And Bill, that's what I would probably do. I think it's also worth noting that anyone who's currently employed, communicate with your employer about how you're feeling. And I know that may be not a very fun thing to do, or it may be an uncomfortable thing to do, but I think communicating with your employer and letting them know what's going well and what's not going well is really important. As I said, to advocate for yourself. If you've been in that company a long time, my guess is you have a lot of experience and know how to do a lot of things that company does. So you have a wealth of knowledge that they don't want to lose. So just, things to be thinking about to, again, advocate for yourself in what you're currently doing. But again, if you're looking to move on for whatever the reasons may be, the first thing you got to do is you got to decide what you want to do. And then I would suggest doing the research, talking with the Vermont Department of Labor, talking with A4TD, talking with your Chamber of Commerce to learn about What are the employers and the areas that match your interests? I would also just point out and give a shout out. There is a profile assessment that you can do online that will give you an idea about where you land, about what your interests may be. The interest profile is called My Next Move. It's actually a United States Department of Labor assessment. It's going to ask you 60 questions. And based on your answers from strongly dislike to strongly like, it's going to develop a profile for you, and then we'll match particular jobs in Vermont that align with your interests. And again, it's mynextmove.org. So if you take a look at that as well, that may also be helpful for you to take a look at. Any applicant or any person that's interested in our services, that's one of the first things we do with that individual is because it gives us a good indication about where they're at and where they want to go.
Thanks, Rick. That's a great website and resource for everyone to have on the call. And if you've just joined our call, this is Laura McDonough with AARP Vermont. This is your chance to ask questions about re-entering the workforce or changing jobs or developing new skills to enhance your current position. To help experienced workers and job seekers get to where they want to be, AARP offers effective resources and innovative tools, spotlights employers that value experienced workers, and confronts age discrimination in the workplace. This is an interactive call, so if you'd like to ask a question at any time during the call, just press *3 on your telephone keypad to be connected with an AARP staff member who will note your name and question and place you in the queue. Again, that's *3 on your telephone keypad. Now, while I've got everyone here, I'd like to take a quick poll with everyone live on the call. So listen to the options, and then afterward press the number that corresponds to your opinion on the poll. So the poll question is, how many of you are currently working or thinking about going back to work? Press 1 if you are working or considering re-entering the workforce, and press 2 if you are not working and have no plans to return to the workforce. Again, that's 1 if you are currently working or considering re-entering the workforce, and 2 if you have no plans to go back to work and are currently not working. Give you a few minutes to get those poll questions in. And for those of you still live on the call, please feel free to press *3 on your telephone keypad if you do have a question for Rick and Patti at Associates in Training for Development. We have lots of email questions, which is great. So another one I'm seeing is let's see, are you seeing that employers are creating flexible retirement plans so that older adults can stagger their retirement?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think, what we've heard from employers, first of all, is what they're offering is very diverse. Some companies can't offer a lot of retirement benefits. They can't offer 401ks or 503bs, but whereas others are, and others have pretty high matching percents, employee percent match as well. So what I do know is that employers are realizing they need to offer more than what they have been to attract and even more importantly, keep their employees. So I think it's a valid question that you want to ask during your interview process. It's probably not going to be the first or second question you ask, but I think when you are in an interview and it's towards the end when they're saying, hey, do you have any questions for us, interviewee? I think it's very appropriate for you to ask them what the benefits package would be if it was to all work out. So I think it's very important to understand what you would be getting as a return for being employed by an employer. Employers don't oftentimes, they'll share with They'll share what their benefits package is, but they really won't get into details much more with that. But at least you'll know who's offering retirement, what it is there an employer match, and so forth. And I think that's really helpful and something you're going to want to know in order to make your decision about whether you want to take a job if offered to you.
Thanks, Rick. And we gave everyone a minute to answer that poll question, and it looks like about 40% of our callers are working currently or considering re-entering the workforce, and another 60% are not working and have no plans to return to the workforce. Rick, does that track pretty evenly with what you see for folks coming to use your organization? About almost half and half here?
Yeah. What I would say to the 40% or so that are interested in re-entering the workforce, we'd like to talk with you. And we'd like to see if we can help you. And if we can't, for whatever the reason may be, and I'm pretty confident we can help most of you, but if we can't, we're going to be able to know someone who can, and we can do an appropriate referral to a different organization if we can't help. So again, you can find out more information on our website, www.a4td.org. We gave you the phone numbers of our staff earlier. I'll also give you my personal number. My number is 802-752-7902, so always feel free to reach out to me as well, because we want to ascertain if we can help you. Regarding, Laura, your question about is that pretty indicative? I think so. What we're also finding, though, is a lot of people that were retired and had planned to stay retired are now having to come back into the workforce for various different reasons. And so we're seeing a lot of that, especially coming out of COVID, where people's work plans have changed, and they thought they were probably done work, and now they're finding that they need to or want to re-enter the workforce. So we are seeing a lot of that. And we are seeing, as a couple of people have already mentioned, that they want to try something new. So that's very common these days as well. But I would just, say one thing about if you're someone that's wants to try something new, and you sort of want to reinvent yourself and learn new skills. Remember this key phrase: transferable skills. Right? Everyone has skills that they can transfer from one industry to another. So, for example, a gentleman talked earlier about that he's been in the food industry forever and he wants to try something new. I got to believe that gentleman, and I forget your name, sir, I apologize. If you've gotten a lot of skills over the course of time that you can apply in other industries, in other types of jobs. So it's going to be really important for you to identify what your transferable skills are. Because full transparency, when we do interviews, it's the first question I ask. Because oftentimes A4TD hires people that maybe doesn't have previous experience in workforce development, but they have a lot of other solid skills. So I want to hear from them about what do they think their transferable skills are. What skills do they currently have that they would be able to apply for the position, to be able to use for the position they've applied for. So I think that's really important to consider when you are looking to go in a different direction than what your work experience has been in the past.
Thanks, Rick. And for that 40% of you on the call today who are still working or considering re-entering the workforce, we would love to hear from you as well. Press *3 on your telephone keypad to tell us why you're considering re-entering the workforce, or if you've had to re-enter the workforce recently and were not expecting to. We'd love to hear your stories. *3 on your telephone keypad. And in the meantime, we'll go to some more email questions here, Rick. Let's see. What is the best way to do a job search?
Yeah, great question. I don't know if there's a best way. Let me share with you some strategies that we know work. So different ways you want to target a job search. First of all, as I've already talked about, you've got to figure out for yourself what types of jobs you want, right? What do you want to do? Do you have the skills to secure a particular area? Do you want full-time, part-time, nights, days, weekends? What sort of benefits, as I talked about before? That's the first thing you've got to do. The next thing you're going to do is decide for yourself from a travel perspective, are you looking for remote jobs or in-person jobs? And if it's an in-person job, how far are you willing to travel for that job? So those are some self-reflection that I would suggest you do for yourself. After that, I would use your best friend Google and start to target companies that are in your area that you know match the industry in which you're hoping to find employment. And then what I would do is I would go on those company websites and see what jobs are available. Okay, and if you're interested in a position, apply directly to that company through their website. So, for example, if we have a job open at A4TD, we have a jobs board. The best thing to do is to go to our jobs board and apply for a job with A4TD, for example. So that's one thing I would suggest you do. Another thing is we have a couple online resources for searching for work. One is called Vermont Job Link, which is through the Vermont Department of Labor. A famous one that's around the world is Indeed.com. But if you're going to use those websites, be very specific in what types of jobs you're looking for and where you're looking for them. Okay. If not, you're going to get a ton of job listings that you're not going to be interested in. But I think the best way to find employment and search for employment is reach out to your network. Oftentimes you'll hear people say, it's all in who you know. And that's true with searching for employment as well. So networking and getting your name out there and talking with people and letting them know that you're looking for work and give them specifics about what type of work you're looking for is very, very fruitful usually, because you never know when someone's going to say, well, have you ever thought about chatting with, and they would give you a name. And then that generates a conversation about why they think you may want to call that individual. Or maybe they don't know anyone at the time, but they're going to remember that conversation because 2 weeks later they're going to be talking with someone and they're going to say, oh, yeah, that's right. I was chatting with whomever a couple weeks ago, and they're looking for work in the food industry, in the finance industry, in the green industry, whatever it may be. So target, just to sort of review for a little bit, target companies and do the research directly on their website. There are some online job search websites as well. The top two that I would recommend to you would be Vermont Job Link and Indeed.com. But I think most importantly, and where I would start is reach out to people at your network, people in your community, friends, family, acquaintances, and see if and let them know that you're searching for work and see if they have any ideas for you. Because again, a lot of times it's all in who you know, and a friend of a friend may be where your future job is.
That's some great advice, Rick, especially in Vermont being such a rural state. We know that not everyone has access to internet at all times. Some folks have to go to their local library to get online and do these job searches. So being able to connect with others in their network and ask face-to-face or over the phone is really helpful here in Vermont, I think, as well as checking local newspaper listings, I've heard, are also a great source still for finding jobs in your community. We are going to go to Pete in Poultney. Pete, can you come on the call and ask your question?
Yes, I did. Want me to ask the question now?
Yeah, thanks, Pete.
Yeah, well, I'm a 70-year-old retired carpenter. I've been self-employed for more than 44 years, and I fell and broke 8 ribs, broke my sternum. I punctured a lung while I was in the hospital, and that was like 2 Junes ago, and I'm still hurt. And they tell me I'm always going to be hurt. So I wanted to go into something less physical, and which I thought was cool because I'm also an artist. I paint and draw and everything. was to do manicures, for people's nails and stuff. And what I found out is you have to go register and get certified and all that. And I don't know how that works. I don't know where I would find that information, or do I have to have a sponsor or what?
Yeah, Pete, that's really a great question. So first of all, what I know is if you have been self-employed carpenter for as long as you have, you've got a lot of transferable skills, right? I mean, you know things that I don't know, that's for sure. And so I think you need to take advantage of those things, your knowledge, take advantage of your knowledge. And you also need something that's more low impact, right? That's not as strenuous on the body as it is. There's a lot of hardware stores, for example, that would love to have someone employed with them who has the knowledge of how to build things, for example. At the same time, you could be learning the whole retail side of a business, right? And so that would be absolutely be something we would love to chat with you about if you're interested in that. We could get you retail training, we could get you computer training, things like that. So I just wanted to throw that out there as a way of using your transferable skills, the skills you have from being a carpenter for so long, into a different industry where you're now talking about the building things, but you're not having to physically do it. So that would just be one thought. If you are looking for a particular credential, whether it be, I am not aware of the credential you would need to be someone who does nails. So I can't help you there. But what I can help you, though, is we could help you with some research. I don't know off the top of my head. We would also probably reach out to the Vermont Department of Labor because what they have online is they have an eligible provider training list. And what it is a list of trainers, statewide, training organizations throughout the state, what classes they have that will prepare people for a particular credential. So it's an eligible provider training list. You can find it online, or we'd be happy to help you find it as well. And that would inform us about what credential there is to do manicures, for example, and who in the state offers it. So, for example, for you, Pete, maybe Stafford Tech offers something like that. I don't know, but it's something we'd have to explore. Okay?
Thanks, Rick. And Pete, go ahead, Rick. Sorry.
Laura, everything we're talking about is free, everyone, right? There is no fee to any of this. And all this assistance that we can help you to either get back in the workforce, remain in the workforce, and so forth. So just wanted to point that out as well. There is no cost for anything that we've been chatting about.
That's amazing and a wonderful benefit that Vermonters can take advantage of. And Pete, I do just also want to say that that's such a fun idea to use your hobby as an artist on the side to reinvent your entering the workforce at your stage. My AARP Vermont team here has been doing a little research on the call since your question, and they found that the Secretary of State website, which is sos.vermont.gov, does have a section there on barbers and cosmetologists. So there is a section on how to get that licensing here in Vermont. So that's worth looking into as well. But as Rick said, you can call A4TD anytime, and Rick and his team will help you through that whole process at no charge. It's such a wonderful organization and service that they provide to Vermonters. Rick, do you want to talk a little bit more about how A4TD works and the Senior Community Service Employment Program specifically?
Yeah, thanks, Laura. Yeah, so that's the program that we run throughout the state. We've operated since 1983. We're actually one of 19 organizations in the country that receives funding from the United States Department of Labor to run this program. So there's not a lot of organizations in the country, and we're only one of 2 in New England, 1 of 3 in New England. So what we do is once you apply to the program, like I said, we're going to learn as much about you as we can. We're going to make sure you're eligible. Just to repeat the eligibility that I mentioned earlier, you must be at least 55 years old, you must be unemployed, and you must be deemed low income. But if you're not quite sure what low income means, talk to us about it. We can help you ascertain whether it meets our grant requirements. But assuming you're eligible for the program and we want to enroll you, what we're going to try to do is we're going to set you up with a diversified set of training opportunities. Like I said, we're going to connect you with an internship opportunity. It's paid. We're allowed to pay you minimum wage. So in Vermont, that's $14.01. So it is a paid internship, minimum of 20 hours a week, where you'd actually be in a workplace setting, learning as you do to help you prepare for the jobs that you're hoping to, hopefully transitioning to. At the same time, we're going to offer you digital literacy training. We partner with a lot of different organizations, a couple in Vermont, for example, Knowledge Wave out of South Burlington. We're also partnering with Technology for Tomorrow. We partner with the Career Technical Education Centers at your local high schools. So we're going to make sure that your computer skills are what they need to be in order to be attractive to an employer. We're also going to partner with the Vermont Department of Labor, and we're going to make sure that you have solid resumes and cover letters and that you're prepared and ready for interviews when it's time. We're going to make sure that you do that. We're also going to be engaging with employers all the time and trying to find job opportunities. You'll be searching on your own as well, but we're also going to reach into our network to see if there are employers in your specific area that are interested in, are looking to hire people, and if so, what are they looking for, to see if what they're looking for matches what you're looking for. So we're always going to be doing that. We also partner with other organizations around the state. So for example, let me give you one that we're partnering with now. We're partnering with M&T Bank. M&T Bank is meeting with all of the individuals in our program this month and next month, for example, and they're offering free financial literacy training. So that's a wonderful partnership that we started with M&T, where they actually have individuals from their local branches coming and talking with the people in our program about financial literacy topics and answer all your questions and so forth. So we're very happy to be offering that financial literacy training. We also, if someone does not have technology or does not have internet access, we have means to help you get that. Again, free of charge. So that is something we could work with. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get you to the next step, whatever you're looking to do to get back in the workforce. We want to help you acquire the skills to get there, and then help you connect with employers that hopefully will put you in a position where you could be hired. And I think another opportunity that I just want to mention, something that Laura mentioned earlier about, is the volunteer opportunities that AARP has. Employers like to see people that are unemployed engaged. Volunteering is one way to do that. Another way to do that is to be enrolled in a training program like ours at A4TD, because if you're volunteering or if you're in a training program, you're showing employers that you are trying to get better, you're trying to learn, you're trying to be engaged with your community, give back to your community, and that's very attractive to employers. So I would just put a big pitch for that as well, because employers do look at those types of things. Obviously, they're going to look at your skills and so forth, but they do look at all those little other factors as well, because they're looking for a good, well-rounded individual that they want to add to their team. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Again, let me give you some phone numbers. If you are in Montpelier, if you live in basically Washington County, the Montpelier-Barre area south, your contact is Danielle Clark, 802-752-7073. If you are north of Montpelier, into northwestern Vermont, Chittenden County area, or in the Northeast Kingdom, you're going to call Rick Smedley. His number is 802-370-6161. I can be reached also at 802-752-7902. And I also want to give a shout out to Patti Gannon, who's joining me today. She's actually oversees our Vermont project. She can always be reached at, and she's got a non-802 number, so don't let this throw you, 315-368-3682. 3049. And if you go to our website, www.a4td.org, it's going to give you a bunch of information about the program that we've been discussing that we operate. It's also going to you'll be able to apply for services. There's about a 10-minute online application that we would ask you to do, and that your application goes directly to those people who I just gave you the phone numbers, because they would be the people that would be following up with you to see how we can help you. And I would also offer that it would be fairly quickly. I can't tell you it would be a day or two, but it would be within a couple of weeks, I suspect. So we really are in the business of helping experienced Vermonters to try to get back into the workforce, and we take that very seriously. And we would welcome the opportunity to chat with you more about how we can help you. Thanks, Laura.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. And speaking of, about how long does this process usually take for someone to reach out to you until the time when they are re-entering the workforce?
Yeah, I think great question. It varies, but I would say by the time you apply, you should hear from us within a week or two, maybe, hopefully not, tops. And then what we'll do is we'll start the process of learning about you, and we got to find you an internship. So we've partnered with organizations throughout the state. So once we learn about what an individual wants, then we can pair that with pair the interests of that individual with the organization that we've partnered with, and hopefully within a couple weeks, get you into some sort of training so you're starting to earn money and you're starting to learn new skills. That would be our goal.
Wonderful. That's fast. What an amazing program you all provide. Now, it looks like we don't have any more caller questions coming in, so I'm going to go ahead and say on behalf of AARP Vermont, I want to thank everyone for taking part in today's Teletown Hall discussion. Whether you're kicking off a job search or looking to advance your career, sometimes a fresh perspective is all you need to break through, re-energize yourself, and learn how to apply your skills in ways that you've never considered before. Thank you, everyone, for your great questions today, both online and by email. If you have other questions or would like additional information, be sure to visit A4TD's website, and then the number 4td.org. And you can also check out AARP's Work and Jobs Resource Center at aarp.org/work, where you'll find career tips and job search tools, as well as professional resources to sharpen your skills and help you get hired. We've been talking with our special guests, Rick Bugbee and Patti Gannon of A4TD. I'd like to personally thank them so much for joining us today and for providing such a breadth of information and knowledge. So as we're nearing the end of our call, Rick and Patti, would you like to share any closing statements here?
Thanks, Laura. I think the only thing that I would offer everyone is the program that we operate is really successful. It's not only about getting people back into the workforce, and obviously that's a clear end game, but we also can offer people that are in our program tell us that they are not only better prepared for work, but they tell us that their physical and mental health is better because they're engaged. They tell us that they have greater economic self-sufficiency and quality of life because they're earning money. They tell us that they feel like they're more financially stable and more independent because of what the program's given back to them. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well. Feel free to also check A4TD's Facebook page, where there's a bunch of testimonials that you can see from other mature Vermonters like yourself who are in the program now, and they share how the program has helped them. So I would offer that to you as well. And again, we would love to chat with you further. If you have any questions or you just have other questions about our programs or just other questions in general, at the end of the day, we're here to help all of you. And we want to thank AARP for the opportunity to chat with you all today. We hope that you're taking away something with you, and we hope that we'll talk with a lot of you in the coming days and weeks.
Thanks again, Rick. And we are hosting a webinar on the computer with Rick and Patti in a few weeks later this month. You can find that and register for that on our website at local.aarp.org, or you can go to aarp.org/VT for Vermont and click on the events section. So thank you again to Rick Bugbee from A4TD for joining us today. We apologize if we weren't able to get to everyone's questions, but if you stay on the line, you'll be able to leave us a voicemail with your question or comment. And you can also obtain valuable information from AARP's Work and Jobs Resource Center, which you can access at aarp.org/work. Thank you again to Rick and Patti from A4TD, and goodbye.
Thanks.